Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday, November 1st edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. Cannot believe we're already in November. Spencer Israel here with Joel Elconin and Dennis Nick. Busy show today. We've got a jobs number, of course, at 8:30. We've got earnings to discuss, and our guest today, Michelle Krebs, executive analyst at Cox Automotive. She will break down the winners and losers in the automotive space from the past few headlines we've gotten in the past quarter or so. That'll be at 8:35, and then at 8:45, or whenever our interview with Michelle ends, we'll be doing a hot potato segment with two of our listeners and our News Desk's own Brent Slava. So that'll be after Michelle Krebs' spot, the end of the show there. So busy show, earnings, jobs number, Michelle Krebs, hot potato. Before I throw it to Joel, I want to remind everyone about the upcoming Benzinga Global FinTech Awards, November 19th in New York City. Categories include alternative data, investing, payments, and more. Plus, we'll be doing pre-market prep live from the venue, and Joel and Dennis will be doing some extra educational stuff on the side. Promo code PMPVIP. That'll get you 20% off your ticket. I'm going to drop the link in the chats right about now. And now, Joel, what is going on here overnight?
Trading in the green by 2.25 handles. Nice range. Pre-market high. Let's go with that. 44.75. I'm going to look at the old-time closing high as our first resistance point. That's 47.75. On the downside, we're still above the close here, 35.75. Let's keep an eye on that pre-market low here. Below that Monday's low, or Tuesdays and Thursdays low, right there at 30.20. That's your major support. Crude into green by 41 cents here at 54.59. Gold down $2 at 15.1280. Silver back above 18, up 5.8 cents at 18.12.5. And Bitcoin hanging out in the lower 9,000 handle, down $65 at 9,240. Let's bring in Triple D. Did you eat too much Halloween candy?
I think so, because I slept in here and I've been in a fast market ever since. So normally I'm up about 6:30. Didn't get up till after 7. A bazillion things to do running around. So if I look sweaty, it's because I've been running around all morning.
All-time low, I think, for trick-or-treaters at my house.
Oh, it was brutal. I think we had 20 kids.
20? I had 3 groups, probably a total of 5. I was almost like going to run out in the street and beg people to come and get candy.
You got to just start handing out like handfuls of candy, just a whole bunch. But actually, it was my wife handing it out because I took the kids around, and we were tough. So we had the little wagon, and they were both dressed up as sharks. So they just kind of swam to each house because it was pouring rain the whole time we were trick-or-treating. But they wanted to keep going. They said, more houses, more houses. So we got wet, but we got candy. So it was good.
Were they baby shark?
Yeah, that's exactly what they were. Baby sharks, both of them.
Really?
Both, like, it even had the little thing that played the song. Baby shark, do 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 do. Yeah. We did it all. We did it up.
You know that one, Baby Shark. I didn't know that until they played at a Michigan basketball game once. But all right, let's go. Where do you want to start here? Big day jobs number.
Let's go Pinterest from last night, because this is your big. These new IPOs. I mean, this market has not cared about the bottom line. They've not cared about making money for a while, like until about 2 months ago, when we started to see this growth to value trade start to emerge. And all the new recent IPOs, people are saying it was WeWork. It was, it was a lot of different companies there. But all the newer IPOs that obviously aren't making money have basically been put out of favor. And now even if they report okay quarters, it seems like they're getting slammed. Give us the numbers on PINS, but the stock's getting slammed.
There we go. Q3 adjusted EPS, 1 cent versus a 4-cent loss estimate. Sales of $279 versus $280 million. So an EPS beat and a sales miss In the third quarter, monthly active users up 28% on a year-over-year basis. They also narrowed their full-year sales guidance by a smidge, and it's coming in, I guess it's technically in line, but still, it feels light.
So you cannot, if you are a growth company, you cannot miss on the top line. That's the bottom line. So don't miss on the top line. That's the bottom line for the growth companies. Missing on the top line, they slammed it. It's down 21%. This thing was $36 2 months ago. We're looking at it at 20 now. It's in a world of pain. I hate buying stocks when they're making new all-time lows, and that's what this is doing. You'll have people saying, oh, it's getting back to the IPO price, but nobody was able to buy that in the secondary market. The lowest prices is traded before that was 23.05. That was obviously on the first day of trading. And now you look here and the thing's under 20 bucks. Let it stop going down before being a hero. That's what I'm going to do. I mean, is there a story potential here? Yeah, it's still a story. This could turn around eventually, but it's still a valuation issue and it's significant. And instead of trying to be a hero, call the bottom is going to wait a few days, see if it can start to form a double bottom, give you something to lean on, like how we played Roku. Right, on how we talked about playing Roku is stop, and once you get 2-3 lows in the same area, starts to show some life. Now you have something to lean on. If you're buying this, there's nothing to lean on the lower side. I mean, you can look at the pre-market low, but really that's nothing. So what are your thoughts here? Like, you concur or are you going against me?
I just never understood this site at all. What
do you call it?
What I call it? Pin interest?
Pin interest. I love that. I say that to my wife. It drives her nuts.
Mispronounces it. Drives me insane.
It drives my wife insane too, because I say it to my wife now, and she's on Pinterest a lot, and I go, hey, what's going on in pin interest? And she's like, it's not called that. I'm like, well, that's what Joel calls it.
That's what, yeah. Maybe
pin interest.
Maybe they should
I think it's great. I love that. Pin
I think
interest.
they should explore blockchain. Maybe. I don't know. I see Lisa, she's on the site and you can pull up all these different things. And I've never been on the site. I don't know how they make money. Technicals are going to be easy here. Pre-market low 1948. Someone's trying to bring some stock in here. Probably short. I don't know if anybody's trying along. So it just kind of looks like you got a patient buyer 1948. That's your pre-market low. So, and it just hardly bounced at all. So I use that area, new all-time low. No interest in this one today.
No interest in pin interest for Joel.
Yes.
All right. Continuing with last night's party before we get to the big ones from the sporting there. The stock that is bringing down a lot of other stocks is Arista Networks. This is a disaster here. ANET. If you're looking at Cisco, it's trading down because of it. You actually can look at a lot of other chips, and obviously we've had Seagate numbers too. But a lot of these network stocks here, and Cisco direct peer is down on this, but this is down 27%. ANET. Give us the details. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, the Q3 EPS beat and the Q3 sales beat. The Q4 sales guidance, though, was extremely light. They guided sales for the fourth quarter a range of $540 to $560 million. $686 million was the estimate, so they guided $100 million below the sales estimate for the fourth quarter. And how many downgrades today? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't get me bullish.
And when you get the 8, Joel gets bullish.
I only see 4.
Okay.
That day, what was the stock that had the 8 downgrades?
Grubhub.
And Joel said this could be the low, and Joel was right. So it opened right into the low that day. And you know what? We haven't made any low. And Grubhub sets up not like a good. It's 32.11 is the low, and I don't know if I'm coming. There's so much overhead supply and people stuck in that, but at least it stopped going down. I mean, if you're buying a stock like Grubhub now, at least you have an out. Your out is 32.11. The thing starts making new lows, you got to go. In the case of ANET, while this is just continuing to make new lows, the after-hours chart was ugly. I mean, you look at this thing and you got to go out to the weeklies, but that's not going to do you any good. You go all the way down to 191. We're at 177, so you got to go out to the monthlies. And then you have a huge run. So going back in like 2017 when this thing ran from $100 to $200 in about 8 months. I mean, this is a tough one to call a bottom into.
Well, you know what's is there like an iceberg out there or something? Because it's not going anywhere.
Are they holding it up now?
Yeah, I don't know. They're holding.
It looks like it's went a long ways to me, Joel. It's down 27%.
No. Someone just won't let this thing go up at all. Or
just
down.
Continuous sellers here. People want out of Arista Networks.
Yeah, and someone's making a little bit here. I would say 178. I know we're trading below it now. 77.92 was your November 2017 low. But if you want to be really cheap on this one, and Dennis, this is you, 169.61 was your September 2017 low. So if you want to try and get it on the super cheap to me, 170 bid to cover short. Cover short 170. I know, Dennis, people.
I'm not going long when I see something down, and obviously I've learned this the hard way. You know, I always say don't do this, and then I did it in the Sarepta case, and I did it with one other stock too, and I can't remember which one it was. But if you're looking here, a peer plays, you think Cisco, and you think Juniper. Those are the two that I think. I actually have a pair trade on going in Juniper Cisco right now. But
were you able to hit
my
anything on that?
What's that?
Were you able to hit any of the pairs on that or not?
Yeah, well, that's I put a Cisco Juniper spread on.
Oh, okay, all right.
After hours,
we'll talk about it. We won't talk about it.
Well, you can talk about it. I mean, I'm not going to talk about my specific position. I'm not going to talk bullish or bearish. Just have a pair trade on going Cisco Juniper because those two stocks will probably move together with ANET. If we're looking at Cisco, it is down 1.9% in pre-market. Juniper not down, but Juniper is offered down to 24.62, which would put down about 1%. So just looking at the, the direct
disaster, man, oh man, oh man.
That's a big disaster, ANET. So this morning we've had a number of stocks reporting here. Let's go Seagate first. And I don't know why the stock would not go down yesterday. I tried shorting this stock yesterday on the Western Digital News. Now WDC just kept falling. I mean, that was just awful yesterday. If you were long, I had WDC and I actually sold it in the pre-market at 57.5. Thank goodness I did. I bought the dip at 55 and I thought 55 was going to hold. So I actually made $2.50. Lucky I got out. It actually opened up right around where I sold it. It opened up right around that 57.5 area.
Yep.
Then it just kept going down. So I was short Seagate. I'm like, well, this should follow suit. Seagate's up here. And it just, it went down a bit, and actually did, but then it rallied all the way back and went positive on the day. So anyways, here it reports, and it's disappointing, shocking. Give us the numbers.
I mean, the headlines are good here. Q1 adjusted EPS for Seagate, $1.03 versus 99 cents. Sales 2.57 versus $2.56 billion. They're raising their dividend from 63 cents to 65 cents a share, and their Q2 guidance was in line. The EPS and sales, if you discount the fact that they said it'd be plus or minus 5%, the actual numbers are in line with estimates.
It's down $3.50 here. I just think as a pure play, when you get Western Digital getting crushed like that, I used to always, maybe the industry's moved, but do you not remember, Joel, the WDC STX pair traders?
Yeah, I do.
Like maybe Seagate has moved enough and it's not a direct peer anymore. I don't know. I don't know why it wouldn't go down yesterday when Western Digital's down that much, but I used to always pair these two stocks up. So it would have worked if you just played just from earnings and saying, okay, well, Western Digital reported Seagate's bound to disappoint too. Even though they didn't disappoint stock, you'd still make 6% if you held it through the earnings. I have guts to do that. Like I said, I was trying to play it yesterday when I thought it would sell off more than it did. I did make a little bit of money. It sold off some yesterday morning, but I thought it was going to sell off a lot more.
Did I ever tell you when I got smoked on Instinet in Seagate when it was SEG? Did I ever tell that story?
No.
No. It was when
is that oldie or this is that bright?
Back at old. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do this at
this is that oldie.
With
when you were playing when you were a market maker.
I do it with my own money.
This one is a market maker for oldie.
Do you remember when it used to be SEG? I believe that was the old symbol. You might.
You know what? I think it was SETX even when I started in '99.
Okay.
So SEG, you're really dating yourself. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't remember SEG.
So, well, anyways, the stock was having a day like this, and I had nothing. It was opening up, bad report. It was opening up down, and I had nothing but buyers. So it was going to open up down, whatever, a huge percentage, and I didn't want to be short right off the open, and I didn't want to, put the stock out on the street or some of it. So I started buying in the pre-market, and I started buying on Instinet, and I had a pretty sizable position. And I think I had the position at 40 and it was more than a few thousand shares. Thing opened up at 37.5. It was just an instant loss because I don't know. It was 40. I figured, how much lower can it open?
you always get in trouble when you think, how much lower can it go?
Exactly. That should be the.
Whenever you put that thought in your head, you're in trouble.
I know. I know.
That'll be page 7 of our book. When you have the thought, how much lower can it go? Don't buy it. Don't buy it. That'll be all the words on page 7. We got to rate these down. Somebody's going to rate this book on us is the problem.
And then I think I still
We're giving away all the
short.
content.
I think I still ended up short because I still had so many buyers. So I was long. I got smoked on the long, and then I ended up short, and then it ended up rallying. And I'm like, if I just would have waited for the opening print, and then it would have been a good thing. But anyways, that's a long, complicated story. So I don't trade a lot.
It's difficult as a market maker too, because you have an obligation sometimes. Like you're off exchange, but you're got orders coming in. You got to take the other side of them, correct, Joel?
Not always.
Sometimes though. Sometimes you can work it out, but sometimes you gotta, don't you?
Yeah.
If there's nothing there.
Yeah. Or sometimes when when things I can remember this one guy, Chris, he had what was the stock? It was a retail stock, and he had a 50,000 share sell stop go off. And the stock closed at like 19, and it was a retailer, and the stock thing opened up at 13. And like all of a sudden it's like you're long 50,000 shares because he didn't put any out on the street. And like I think the whole desk ended up helping him get out of it. It ended up around what was I wish I could think of it, but yeah, you got to be careful, especially on those opens. But
the market makers, at least back in the day, the high frequency market makers got it easy because they obviously can just stop making markets whenever they want. We've talked about this stuff before. Obviously, it's the designated market makers on the floor had affirmative obligations, to come in and to be those buyers of last resort. I mean, that's why the market dynamics have changed so much. That's why we get these flash crashes, obviously, too, in some instances where stocks will flash crash down because the market makers, all of a sudden just say, no, I'm out, I'm not bidding, because they have no obligations. So the dynamics of the market have changed significantly. Back in the day, like during the financial crisis, you had a lot of specialist firms, and even back to 2000, 2001, they had specialist firms in trouble because they had to make a market. It really sucks when the stock's going down, but you have to buy it because you have these obligations to do it. So, I mean, this was back actually during the tech bubble back in 2000, 2001, and we had a pile of market makers on the floor that actually blew out their accounts. I mean, and companies that actually went under because they had those obligations to make, markets. So here, the stock's going down. You can see the amount of sellers coming in, and there's nothing you can do. You can bring it down a little bit to be the buyer, but you still have to give them a fair market and be the buyer. It gaps down on you, you buy. It gaps down on you again. I guess you got to buy some more. Trying to work out. I mean, market making works very well. Markets going up and down, and obviously, when you're getting a lot of chop, market makers are doing very well. When it's go straight down, 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 the market maker can't wiggle out, and they're getting caught long. Now, this is the difference. Now the high frequency traders will say, no, I'm out. I'm not, bidding, and you have no bids. And that's what we saw on May 6, 2010. It wasn't really, this huge amount of selling that made the whole market flash crash. It was the lack of buyers. There was simply no buyers. I mean, Accenture's, the best bid, they pulled all their bids. The stock was $38, went down to 35, and then there's no bids. The best bid was 1 cent, not $1, 1 cent. That was a stub quote, and people were getting hit on that because there's stops going off. There's, other traders that are just, algorithms that are just saying, I got to get out, give me the best bid. Well, the best bid's 35 points down. Basically, it's zero. So it's crazy, how the dynamics have changed over the years.
I don't know if we should go to this question. Someone asked about what kind of trading software you use in Canada, but that could be like
what kind of trading software to use in Canada?
What kind of trading softwares are you using?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm Canadian, but I'm trading the U.S. markets. So obviously, I'm trading for a U.S. company. So, I mean, it's completely, different. But I mean, we have a lot of the same software. Interactive Brokers is in Canada. You can get TD Ameritrade. You can get all, similar. So I would imagine a lot of your retail Canadian traders are using the same software that the U.S. retail traders are using. Hey, look, there's Charles. I didn't mute Charles. Give him some love on the show. Do you hear him in the background?
Yeah, I heard something. I want to.
That's Charles.
Dennis, that was the mother of all segues right there, talking about flash crashes.
Sure.
Was there a flash crash in Apple yesterday?
I have not analyzed the tape. If you guys, I can do this really quick though on the fly. So what we got to do is, I see the stick yesterday. So you can see what time is that at. Do you have the time quotes? I do from yesterday.
It happened around 10:30. Actually,
okay, let's go. So right around 10:30.
10:23.
Can you show this, Spencer? What I got on my screen?
Can you show it? Here, I'm going to go 10:20. I can analyze on the fly. I have not looked at this though. So we're going to go yesterday's trade at 10:20, and I'll go to what 10:50 should cover it. Somewhere in there. You think it's 10:30?
Yeah.
Sorry, you do it. And then you got to go look and you see, okay, 1023. I'm trying to see where this trade
Was
actually
it
occurred.
it didn't show up on my
Well, sometimes you just have an outside print, like, where something got hit outside the market. It's called a trade through. And in some instances, it's just a couple of shares of trade, and then it messes up the whole quote. And everybody's like, what happened? And then it's right back there. In some other instances, it hits out all the liquidity and the stock actually went down. I'm trying to find it. Like the stock was was trading at 245, 246. I'm trying to grab the exact time here. 10. I'm just trying to grab the time of that. 10.
It's when it 1024 says Sal. Sal says
24.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go look at 1024 and see if I can find it on the tape. I'm just trying to see.
I asked Brent about
I
it.
think this. I don't see a lot of trades here, so I think this is just a trade through. I'm trying to find the actual trade that made this happen, though. 246, 246. I'm looking at the 220, and obviously I should analyze this before the show, but I'm just going through the 1024.
Yeah, it made a 237.26 low.
What was the low? What was the price?
237.26.
Not seeing it. It looks like it's a trade through though, because when you see these things like and everybody's hit out all the bids, it's like you can see a whole bunch of trades. So now I'm looking for one specific trade.
Now he says set 1027. I'm sorry.
Okay, well that changes everything. So I'm looking at the 1024s. Let's go look at 1027. There's a lot of trades in Apple. It's not like some little stock. I'm looking through 1,000 trades here. I'm looking on the tape, the consolidator. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking through the time and quotes from yesterday. I'm trying to see what happened in the 1027 area. So the 1027.
They must have busted that. Well, no. It is.
No, it's still on the tape. So I seen it on the tape too. So I'm not sure they did. If they busted, it won't show up though. So if they busted, we're looking for nothing. Do you see it?
I've got a graphic up from Win Falcom on Twitter that shows what Dennis is looking for.
Gang Trader says it's 1023. So everybody's telling me a different time.
All right, I will.
I'm going to look at 1023. Talking other stock. I'm looking at the background.
I said 1023. That's what I said originally.
Okay, I'm looking at 1023 now.
That's what my Thinkorswim says. 1023.
It looks like it's just going to be one trade because I don't see anything of a sweep nature here. Oh no, wait. 223.11. I'm finding it. No, then 223.12. No, it's just still. Those are all still good trades. Those are like it went down a little bit, but.
And
all right, that answers.
This is terrible analysis.
That answers the question.
Next time, do your homework before. Don't sleep in. Do the homework before the show starts.
We'll talk about it on Monday.
Well, I'm right here in the 1023s, but I don't see the trade there either. So I'm looking for it. If you guys can find me the specific time, but every minute. So on a specific minute of Apple, there's probably 200 trades. So I'm like trying to find needle in a haystack right here by looking at the time and quotes.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had to look through a 20-minute period, it could take me 5 or 6 minutes to find this.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to bring us
do some earnings. I'm looking in the background.
I'm going to bring us back to the earnings here. Let's do the big ones from this morning. ExxonMobil. I don't know how much it typically moves off earnings, but they beat this morning on the top and bottom line. EPS 75 versus 67 cents. Sales 65 billion versus 64.7 billion. So, like I said, a beat for ExxonMobil. Chevron also, or are they at 8:30? They're usually at 8:30, so not out yet.
We're up 23 cents, 67.80. Pretty muted our reaction here to the report. Man, I don't know. 69.5 looks like your major resistance, and then you have a low of the move. You tick down there twice at 66.31. Another low at that. I don't know. I'm going to go kind of wide on this one. It's been in the trading range. Need to bust out here above the 69.5 area. Good support at 66.31. Nothing great to look there. Tim O says 10:23 in 37 seconds. There's a 2:37.26 print.
What's the time again? 10:23.
10:23.37.
Okay, that's perfect. So now I can go specifically to it. 10:23.37. There is what's the price?
237.26. That was the low. So there might have been some
it busted it. They had to bust it. It's not on the tape now. Because this is the I'm looking through the consolidated tape now, and they'll take it off the tape. if it was no good. So you're still seeing on your charts because the trade probably actually did occur. I would assume that they actually busted it.
Okay.
So it means the person who bought this down there actually would lose their buy, and the person who sold it would be canceled. Because if that is the time, if 1023.37 is the time, there is no trade at that price anymore. So that's why I can't find it, because they probably knocked it off the tape.
242.37. You see that price?
No.
Okay.
Don't see that one either. You see that one too? If the time is 1023.37, I can tell you there was 1, 2, 3, about 10 trades that occurred in that time, and none of them are that price. They're all in the 246. So I don't see it there. So they probably busted. They do. They bust trades. I mean, if it's just outside and the buyer calls and says, "What the hell?" I mean, they will go down like, "Yeah, that was outside the market," and we'll come in and adjust your price. So, you know, and this happens. I mean, in a fragmented market world where you have 12 or 13 different exchanges, I think it was 12 now. You're going to have outside prints that occur. They're called trade throughs, and they happen every once in a while. The top of the book. So any broker that routes an order has to route to the top of the book because it's protected. Once you get through the top of the book, then any broker can, or the routing changes, and the exchanges can take it back to their own exchange without actually going to the best possible price, believe it or not. Only the top of the book is protected. And that's why you see these trade throughs occur. If it's done by, you often see them at 2-3 cents. You don't usually see them by $9 through it or $10 through it. If it's $10 through it, usually the person who's on the other side is going to complain. I got 237. What the hell? The stock's 246. They'll call, they'll rule on it, and they'll usually bust it. And that's what's happened here.
All right, let's do Baba.
Yep. The other big one from this morning, aside from Exxon and Chevron here, Alibaba, Q2 EPS $1.83 versus $1.50, sales of 16.65 versus $16.46 billion. So a beat for Alibaba this morning.
Down $2.50. I still have it in my long-term portfolio. I'm still a believer in the company long-term. I think the valuation isn't bad either. Pulling back. I mean, you got support at 170. What have we done pre-market? Oh, this is wild. This has went up to 182 and it's coming all the way back down now.
Wow.
So it's leaking now.
Yeah, it is. It really is. 174.33 spiked up to 182. I think this is an important area right now to hold. Your 2-day low comes in at 173.94. Call it 174. You're still above it. I just don't like it under 174. You have that one big candle there that took you from, the next daily support level after 174 is 170.88. So I just don't like that candle when I don't think there's a lot of room in there. So if you're trying this one, keep an eye on 174. Trapdoor 174 leads you to 170.
We have a jobs number here.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say down.
All right, I got to cancel my orders because
we're so behind today.
We're not behind. It's 8:29.
Okay,
he has a minute.
Do you have a preview real quick?
Yeah, we're looking at two numbers. We're looking for 75,000 jobs last month, and unemployment 3.6%. Those are the numbers we're looking for. Non-farm payrolls 75,000. Unemployment rate 3.6%.
All right, SPOO's up 39.75 heading into the number here. I think it could be a yawner, but we'll see. Pre-market
it'll be a
you're calling a yawner?
It'll be a snoozer.
44.75. That's your pre-market high. We'll keep an eye on that. All-time closing high just above that at 47.75. If we lose that pre-market low, I don't know where we're going here, because yesterday's low was way back down at 30.20 1/4. Just hanging steady here. We'll keep an eye on your bonds. Bonds are trading up 8/30 seconds. They see something they like.
Oh, it's a beat. Whoa, 128,000. Wait, what is that? Hold on a second. Unemployment 3.6%. That's where we're at. Payroll employment rises by 128,000 in October. That's the headline from the BLS. So wow. That is the economy added 128,000 jobs last month. Wow, that is a big beat. That's a big beat.
Oh, so we're not going into the recession, so we don't need to lower interest rates?
Wow, 128,000.
Oh, no, we got to worry about inflation now. We got a hot economy. We're going to have 5% GDP now.
128,000 again versus 75,000.
All those interest rate were unnecessary. As you can see, the economy is doing fine Why did they do that? No bullets in the chamber if we do finally ever slow down. S&Ps are ripping here. The Fed should not have kowtowed in on this one. Up 10.5 handles, 47.75. That's your all-time closing high. That stands as your current high. Let's see. Gold does take a lick in on this. Now it's in the red. Silver going from green to red. Bitcoin not really moving here, but nice pop across the board. We are going to take out this 47.75. They love this market here.
They just love this market.
Yep.
We've been talking this market for a long time now. This market's been breaking out, and we're in full breakout mode here.
Yeah, it did.
Every dip gets bought. I mean, we get a dip yesterday. We get it, yesterday. Look at yesterday's great example. I mean, we have rumors that there's not going to be a very good deal here with China. That was the rumors that were flying around yesterday during the day. And after the open, they sold it off. Like we sold off, what do we sell? 20 handles. We get it almost all back by the end of the day. Now we're up. I mean, this market is very, very, very tough to be bearish in.
Oh, and did you see the buyers on the close yesterday too? Like at the last few minutes of the day, no one wanted to be short. Going into this number here, 48.50. That's your current high. Let's just look. That all-time after hours high was 30.55. So I'll use that as a target. That's after the good Apple numbers came out on Tuesday, and we'll see. Good.
Look at this buyer and SPY. Holy, 100,000 shares, 204.51. You don't see that very often. That's real. I know. Now it went to 100,000. It's six to get done. They want it done that bad. They just crossed the whole market. 204.60.
They
went out. The ARBs hit him because he went above where S&P futures were trading. So on the equivalent, they hit it immediately.
304, you mean?
304.60. Yeah, they just went 304.60 bid. So. It was actually 59 offer on other exchanges. They went at 304.60 bid and went out in like a second and a half because the ARBs will all hit that 304.60 bid and buy the S&P futures against it.
All right. Well, so, that could be the
top 304.60. The 100,000 wanted to buy.
Wow.
You don't see that on SPY very often. 100,000 coming in. No. Somebody was really excited.
Yep. 48.75. Your
how much money is that? 100,000 times 300.
That's a lot. Of 300 million.
No, so 30 million. We're doing the zeros wrong.
Well,
100,000 SPY would be 30 million, I think.
Yes.
Am I right with that?
1,000 would be 30,000, right? So
1,000, 300,000.
So
3 million. Yeah, it's 100,000. So it's 30 million, right?
Yep. Yeah. Wow. Bonds are tanking.
That's a big buyer.
Bonds are tanking.
Too many zeros there.
Were you able to do anything in that, or was it too quick?
Not really. You know what? It's so fast now. I used to trade these numbers, and they used to give you an opportunity. I mean, the high frequency traders have this master too. It's so hard to make, like often inefficiencies. I'm going to lift this off or lift, or hit this bid, depending on obviously which the news are good or bad. It's tough. It's tough to to make money trading any arbitrage there now. I mean, unless you're quick enough. In the case of 304.60, somebody made some money on the ARB there, but that's all high frequency traders.
Yeah, you did get picked off,
man. And you can't be out there. That's the main thing. Is I cancel all my orders because as a human being, you cannot be out there making a market when you're going to have a jobs number, because those are the people that get picked off, and they get picked off within milliseconds. This thing, blink of an eye, you're picked off.
Let's do Twitter before we have our guest, and I don't know. Went up on bad news yesterday. You see that? They washed it out and made a new low for the move. Came back up, closed above.
Yeah, that's a good candle.
Yeah, it's a very good candle.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. That's a washout low down to 28.84. So if you want to buy it now, you have a price to lean on. The low yesterday's because it was closed strong. That's what I like about it. I mean, the trend is still ugly. The thing's still down. But I don't mind that candle. So if I was buying it, I would lean out on that low 28.84. Like we said, you can put any trade on as long as you know where your out is. Don't make a trade become an investment.
Okay. All right. Let's move on as the S&Ps are making new highs as we speak.
All right.
We're doing ExxonMobil while during all this jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
We got Chevron.
No, not yet. But we'll get that after our guest.
We get Chevron?
They're at 8:30. We were a little busy.
8:35.
Well, we were doing the jobs number. A little busy. But I want to take a quick break right now and grab our guest, Michelle Krebs, executive analyst at Automotive.
Chevron missed just quickly.
Chevron missed. There we go. All right. We'll be right back in a moment with Michelle Krebs. All right, welcome back, everyone. Pre-market prep, Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick, joined now by Michelle Krebs, as I mentioned, executive analyst at Cox Automotive. Michelle, good morning, and how is the market been treating you of late?
Good morning. Yeah, it's been certainly an interesting time. Today is sales day for new vehicle sales.
Right.
Of course, it's not what it used to be, because it used to be that every company reported on the same day every month, and that's not happened. Some have switched to quarterly, and I expect next year they'll all go quarterly.
All right, so tell us what we need to know first off about this Fiat Chrysler merger.
Well, first of all, we know that Fiat Chrysler has for years been looking for a merger. Sergio Marchionne, who passed away in the summer of 2018, has been talked about it for a decade probably. That there are just too many automakers. They need to consolidate to get economies of scale. So this isn't new for Fiat Chrysler. They have talked to PSA before, and then they turned their attention to Renault last May-June timeframe, and that deal collapsed, and so now they are back with PSA. The idea is that they're pooling their resources, leveraging economies of scale, and particularly pooling resources on very expensive advanced technologies that have to be developed that just individual companies struggle to do. So, and they also have complementary products. FCA is strong in trucks and sport utility vehicles, Peugeot more in cars, and they're complementary in terms of geographic regions. Now, that being said, these are always difficult to make work.
All right, let's move on to some of the other names here, and GM obviously in the headlines for maybe the wrong reasons, but the strike seems like they're past it now. Ford avoiding it. How will that strike? I mean, we know how it'll impact the bottom line. They've already said so, but how do you see it sort of, going forward here?
Well, right now, all hands are on deck to make up for production losses from the strike, especially in the truck and sport utility vehicle area, and replacement parts for dealers. That was a huge issue. Dealers were turning away service customers because they didn't have parts. So that's the short term. Longer term, the contract allows GM to close the plants that it had proposed to, and a little more. They'll have some flexibility, and I'm sure they're going to be offering retirement packages, and then temp workers. They didn't have to cut back the number of temp workers. There is a path for temp workers to become full-time employees. Each side got a bit of what it wanted, and not everything it wanted.
And so we're waiting on auto sales. We get them later in the day. What are you expecting here?
I think we're expecting a seasonally adjusted rate in the high 16s. For the year, we're forecasting 16.8 million. Last year, they were 17.2, and the record year, of course, was 2016 at 17.5. We think we might be a little low because some things have happened that we didn't anticipate. Fleet sales have been extremely strong because in 2017, the Tax Reform Act allowed for accelerated depreciation for businesses. And so we are seeing rental car companies, commercial companies, car and ride-sharing services really buy up new vehicles or replace their old ones. So that has really kept auto sales up. On the other hand, retail demand has been softening. And in fact, we are seeing a lot of incentives, pretty rich incentives, to move the metal to retail customers.
What about on an individual basis for GM or Ford or what are you expecting there?
I don't have all the numbers right in front of me. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't have a breakdown and we don't know because the GM doesn't report its monthly sales. So.
Right. Okay. Got to ask you about Tesla then. I mean,
of course.
What's going on there?
Well, Tesla turned a profit. You had to dig in the numbers. Some of it's for selling credits. But, Tesla is doing some amazing things. There's nobody that has brand strength the way that Tesla does. We do a study called the Kelley Blue Book Brand Watch, where we survey consumers about perceptions on brands and look at shopping on our sites. And Tesla soars. It is tops in 7 of the 12 factors that people consider important in buying a luxury car. Shopping consideration is really high. Clearly, a lot of those people are window shoppers because Tesla's third quarter sales were down over 20%. A lot of that production was sent to overseas markets, and they just built a plant in China in record time. So they're no longer a niche player, as the head of Volkswagen said. They are a true player.
So the report, with sales being down 21%, but they still sneaked out a profit. In
the U.S., those are sales in the U.S. They had record deliveries globally. So they're very strong in the Netherlands and Norway and increasingly in China. They have limited production capacity, so much of that was sent overseas.
Have you heard anything about Tesla service and repair? They're great vehicles and stuff. Have you heard anything as far as excess wear and tear or people having problems with maintenance and repair?
Well, we hear a lot of anecdotes, but Tesla does not have a dealership network in the way that other manufacturers do. And one of your competitors just is in the midst of releasing a very extensive consumer survey on their experience with Tesla vehicles. So not all of it is bright.
And coming out supposedly with a truck here in November, do you think they'd be better off just trying to, ramp up production and what they have as opposed to branching off into trucks? We all know people love their F-150s and their Silverados. Do they have a chance here in the truck market?
Well, I think there are a number of players going into the electric truck market. You've got Tesla. They're going to supposedly unveil theirs in November. Rivian's already out there taking orders. GM and Ford are planning electric trucks. My big question is, how big is that market? Nobody knows. Nobody's tested it. We'll see. But Tesla's, if it's going to be a real manufacturer, it's got to constantly introduce new products. The Model Y supposedly is coming in the next year or so. That's a crossover based on the Model 3. And they've already said they're not going to freshen some of the older products. So if you're not freshening your older products, you've got to be introducing new products all the time.
Just talk real quickly here about Ford. They gave strong guidance, but the full year will be lower due to warranty costs.
Correct.
Higher than expected incentives. Has it just kind of been the same mantra for Ford for like forever? With the recalls and things. Make some comments on what.
Well, Ford had a strong quarter, but they did give guidance that the full year will be down. And to your point about warranty costs, they've had some big recalls. I'm kind of surprised that they're surprised incentives are high. There's been a big battle in the truck market for sales and market share, very intense competition. Ram 1500 is a serious competitor and has been offering a lot of incentives. And Chevy Silverado as well. And then also Ford has had a very rough launch with its Ford Explorer. It's built at a Chicago plant. It's a big profit, high volume vehicle, and they've had a lot of issues with the product, with the plant, and I'm not sure. They claim they're getting it under control, but we'll see. So that was a big setback.
All right, Michelle Krebs is the executive analyst at Cox Automotive. Michelle, as always, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, 8:45 here. Before we go to our hot potato segment, is there going to be news on Fitbit here? I think there is. Fitbit is halted. That can only mean one thing: Benzinga's buying them.
Yeah, I brought my checkbook here. Well, no, we'll see. We'll see. Google's been rumored. Let's see if there actually takes off. If it's what the price is, a take out, a take under, a take over. We'll see here with Fitbit. I just will say, I don't know who stepped in here at 174 in the Alibaba. But we just rallied 4 points. We were looking at that 174, made a low. I don't know if you saw any news there, Dennis, but nice $4 pop there in Alibaba, maybe off the jobs number.
Probably not. It's just trading off conference call potentially. That won't trade off the jobs number that much. So maybe conference calls going on. I'm not following it, or somebody said something. What I will say is I did find that Apple flash crash. So, and it's not a flash crash. So go to my Twitter feed. You can show this picture. I just tweeted a picture of it. Grab it and show it. You can see it on the screen if you want.
Only Triple D can do this.
It was a 100 shares at 10.23.11. This is not a flash crash. Everybody that's calling it a flash crash, it's not a flash crash. A flash crash is when the stock takes out all the liquidity or you have significant trades going through. This is a trade through. So it happened on the BATS Y exchange, which is their inverted exchange. And the liquidity on that exchange can be low. So somebody may have routed an order. It probably satisfied the top of the book and then obviously routed back to BATS Y, and you can see it right there. See just the little 100 shares. So that's what, it's little 100 shares throughout the whole tape for everybody. I'm not sure if you bought that shares, I would call the exchange and say, look, I want it busted. It's probably too late now, but if you ever buy something or sell something,
sold it.
Sorry, if you ever sell something that's 10 points below the market, call your broker and say, look, I want an adjustment on that price because obviously it wasn't fair. So this person's losing $900 on this because the stock was trading 246 and they got 237. So that's just a trade through. These things do occur in a fragmented market. We see them every day. We usually just don't see them 9 points down.
You said an inverted exchange.
So you have 12 different exchanges. An inverted exchange is the make take, and I'm not going to get all market structure here with the next 2 minutes, but there's maker taker and there's taker maker. So Y is an exchange where they can actually, and it's so there's different exchanges. Some will have an inverted structure where they actually pay to take liquidity, and BATS has adjusted Y. It's recently here too. So they used to pay a significant rebate on it to take liquidity, and I think it's a lot lower than now if they didn't even go flat. Some of these are all going flat too. And then we have the maker taker pilot that's going to happen here, the access fee pilot. They call it access fees maker taker, the same thing, that they're going to try to see how that affects and how that affects brokers routing. But the idea is on an inverted exchange is that a retail broker would be more inclined to route a marketable order to an inverted exchange because they get paid to take the liquidity. This is all probably going over most people's heads, but this is the way the market structure works on the inside. It's all about rebates. It's all about where you're getting paid. If I sit a bid out there, I get paid to have that bid sitting out there, except on YBATs, I actually would pay to do that. So all confusing.
All right. On that note, let's start from the beginning here.
Hot potato, hot potato.
All right.
Hot potato, hot potato.
Gonna bring on some guests
Are you
now.
showing the dancers?
Potato, hot potato.
No, I'm not.
Potato.
Bring on some guests. Here we go.
Cold spaghetti,
Cold spaghetti.
All right, we're not playing
Cold
that
spaghetti.
anymore.
Do you like cold spaghetti?
All right. I've got a few people now that I'm bringing on. A few guests, 3 guests to be specific.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Busy show here. So we are joined by our own Brent Flappa, first of all.
Brentster.
The man behind Benzinga.
We are joined by. Actually, Brent, can you mute your computer here? So we're not.
I'm muted.
You're muted. Okay.
I can't hear myself. So.
Okay. We are. Oh, you're muted on the soundboard. That's why.
There you go.
Let's try that. Okay. We are joined now by Robin Seckel. Robin, good morning.
Good morning.
And we are joined by our favorite number one, Yvonne. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you though.
I know it.
Okay. All right.
Look at this Brentster. Look how many places he can cheat, though. There's so many computers.
How's that?
There we go. There we go.
Good morning,
There's so much
everybody.
going on in the bed. This is a look at the Benzinga news desk there too. There's Yvonne. We got everybody. Look, have we ever had this many guests before?
No, have not.
We have 3 guests, 5 videos going right now.
Yep. All right.
Like CNN.
Let's get to this. So here's how this is going to work. We'll ask a few questions. They're going to be it's going to be Family Feud style. So we got like 4 or 5 questions here, and they all have a lot of correct answers. It's going to be Team Brent against Team Yvonne/Robin. That's how it's going to go. So we'll go back and forth. So for example, naming companies in Michigan. You go back and forth. That's not an actual question, but if it were, back and forth, Brent, then Yvonne, Robin, Brent, Yvonne, Robin, Brent, Yvonne, Robin, until one of you gets a wrong answer. So I'm going to start here with the first question, and we'll throw it to you, Brent. There have been 16 companies, aka unicorns, that have IPO'd this year. Unicorn, a unicorn is a private company valued at $1 billion. There have been 16. So these are like the biggest IPOs of the year. There have been 16 of these companies that have IPO'd in 2019. Brent,
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous, Brent. Can you name one?
Pinterest?
Pinterest. Okay. Yvonne or Robin, can you name a unicorn to IPO in 2019?
Etsy?
No, I'm sorry. Oh no. We would have accepted Uber or Lyft or
Peloton.
Peloton,
or okay, moving on to our next question here. This one is let's go to this one actually. So we compiled a list. This is based on market cap, the 20 largest public companies in the world. Yvonne or Robin, we'll start with you. Can you name one, just one, of the 20 largest companies in the world by market cap?
I'm going to say Microsoft.
That is number 1, as a matter of fact.
She gets bonus points.
All right, Brent, I'll make this harder for you, Brent. Can you go number 2?
You always give her the easy one.
If Microsoft is number 1, can you go number 2?
Well, I wanted to play the theme of only giving you answers which had news today. So I was going to say ExxonMobil, but if you want to put me on the number 2, I'm just going to guess it's Apple.
Well, the guy's good. The guy's good. All right. Team Yvonne/Robin, can you name?
I just want to say, Brentster, is you put him up against the herd. This guy knows his stuff.
Well, listen.
Nobody could beat Brent. So if you guys beat Brent,
I wouldn't have done it if we got some responses from more people. And I did.
We got lots of responses.
And I got a couple. I got
Brentster's
a couple.
tough.
I got a couple responses, and then when I responded to them, and they didn't respond.
If it was Yvonne and Robin versus Joel, Yvonne and Robin would win all day.
Listen,
I doubt it.
I had people. I had some responses, and when I emailed them, but they didn't respond back. I didn't have no way to get the guy back.
I just had to intervene there. Sorry to interrupt.
So okay, it's okay, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right. Team Robin/Yvonne, can you name another one of the top 20? We've got Microsoft. We've got Apple.
I'd say Google.
I would say Google.
That is, well, yep, they're on the same page, and that is number 4 on the list. Brent, keep us going here.
What could be? Are you looking for number 3?
I'm looking for number 3. Yeah.
Oh, Brent has to do the individual
Oh,
ones?
Brent's going in order.
Oh, my Lord.
I know it.
Is it Amazon?
Brent, you're good. Brent knows his stuff. All right, keep us going here. Team Yvonne and Robin.
I'd say Netflix.
That is not on the list. I'm sorry. Brian, let's see how far down the list you can go.
Oh,
Yeah.
pressure.
Jeez.
So we've gotten the top 4: Microsoft, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google. Can you keep us going?
Wow, number 5. What could be number 5?
You got a really good camera angle, by the way. Got to say.
Number 5. Man, I don't know what it could be.
Tech company.
Tech company.
Heck. Oh, I know.
Oh, Alphabet.
No, we already said that. We already said that.
Google. What do you got for us, Yvonne?
NVIDIA.
No.
Facebook is number 5.
Facebook.
Facebook is number 5.
Oh, Facebook. I hate Facebook.
No. I was gonna go Facebook instead of Netflix.
All
You
right.
don't like political ads, do you?
Oh,
Yvonne?
well.
All
Yvonne
right,
doesn't like political ads. That's why she hates Facebook.
Neither does Twitter, apparently. All right, let's go to this one now. We compiled a list of the 10. This is a little bit tough, but it's the 10 best performing large cap U.S. stocks of the year, right? So that includes some kind of obscure names, but there are a couple of big names that we talk about a lot on this show. These are the best performing large cap stocks of the year. Brent, can you name one of the top 10?
One sec.
He's posting news.
The
Fitbit
news
is the
is not
Fitbit?
out. No,
It's not out? Okay.
Not yet. I don't think
All
so.
right, okay.
So I think this is an easy one, but I'm gonna go Roku.
Roku is on the list. It's actually the number 1 best performing large cap stock of the year. There's another one that we talk about a lot on this show. Rob and Yvonne, can you name it, or any of the top 10?
I'd say Beyond Meat. You guys talk a lot about Beyond
Oh,
Meat.
that's a really, really great guess that I would have guessed myself, actually. Unfortunately, I don't think it's technically a large cap, but I almost want to give it to her because it is one of the best performing stocks of the year.
Still?
It's up 46% year to date.
Oh, maybe it's not anymore. It was. Okay, maybe it's not anymore.
I guess from the IPO.
Snapchat is the other big one that we talk about a lot on this show, but then you've got some obscure names, some names that we discussed, like Lam Research, Ring Central. Let's go to some of the worst performers of the year.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. That's not good. All right. Yvonne, I hope you don't know by experience. Yvonne and Robin, can you name one of the 10 worst performing stocks of the year? These are large cap U.S. stocks. What is it?
Well, I was going to say GE.
Oh man, that that is among the
Lee
leaders.
is always a good guess.
It's a great guess. It's actually not in the top 10.
It's always a good guess though when you're thinking of dogs.
Yeah, like the worst.
Well, yeah.
The dogs, the real dogs.
The problem is this year started and we rallied so far and some stocks were really in the gutter when it started. So
right.
You go back a couple years and
this one's
sure.
I'll admit this one's a little bit tough if you're not looking at this sort of thing. And I know Brent's not looking at he doesn't typically look at year-to-date performances, so I'm not sure he knows.
I was looking at this stock recently because a friend was very long.
Oh God!
Unfortunately, Nokia.
That's not in. Oh no. Okay, that's right.
Am I the friend?
That's right.
Am I the friend?
That's technically right. I was asking about U.S. stocks, but
shoot.
that is right. That is among the worst. I think it's in the top 5. But it's
I
not
got
even-
another one.
Keep us going. What do you got?
NIO.
Yes, that is definitely one
That's
of the worst.
got to be in there. I got to give her NIO. That's got to be in there.
So yes, those are both right, but I'm looking for large cap U.S. stocks. So big companies in the U.S.
I know. The other one I was going to say was going to be Baidu, but you got me on the U.S. one.
Got to be U.S. Baidu is also on there.
Okay, so it's got to be something.
Worst.
Something in communications or something. Fox.
No, Brent. I'm sorry. You
what?
How big do you have to be? What's the market cap?
You brought shame upon the entire news desk, Brent.
What's these are tough. These are tough questions, Spencer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with broad categories that we can go back and forth. It was not as easy as it sounds.
Fox down 24% year to date is not in the top 10
of the worst performing large cap U.S. stocks. According to my,
what's a large cap? How are you defining a large cap? How big? Market cap
definition? It's like 10 billion. No,
10 billion.
That's market. That's a mid cap.
Those media companies are good.
100 billion.
So
100
they've all
billion.
been in the gutter.
100 billion I think is large cap.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, 100 billion.
There's none.
Robin or Yvonne? We'll do one more. Robin or Yvonne? Can you just name one? I'm looking for one here. One of the worst performers of the year.
Food company.
Yeah, food company.
Oh, I know.
Ooh, I know.
Is it Heinz?
Is it Heinz?
You're goddamn right. It is. All right.
Whoa.
Fitbit.
We were a little slow on that.
Fitbit
button.
acquired by
Knocked the cuss out.
Wait, Brent was
Even after yesterday, Kraft Heinz had a good day.
Wait, Brent with the breaking news. Fitbit
$7.35 per share in cash.
735.
Fitbit is going off the board, folks. At 7.
Rumors were true. The rumors were true to be acquired by Google.
That sound you hear, by the way.
Why is Google buying Fitbit? I own shares of Google.
I don't know.
Makes me want to sell.
That sound you hear, if you want to hear what it sounds like to post a headline on Benzinga Pro, that sound of it was Brent furiously typing a headline. So, Brent, thank you so much.
It's actually pretty impressive that Brent can still type those headlines and actually do this hot potato game at the same time.
Yeah. All right.
This guy's a multitask master.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Brent, I want to let you go.
Brent.
And Robin or Yvonne, I just want to keep you on for an
Nice to meet you, ladies.
You do Robin versus Yvonne?
No, we're not
No, we don't want to start.
do that.
Yeah.
We're not going to
I'm Dennis.
I would lose to Robin and Yvonne, so I'm too scared to go against them.
Well, we found a few people in the chat who talked a big game, but but didn't want to. That's okay though. That's okay. Robin or Yvonne, I guess while we have you both and we're kind of wrapping up here, can you guys tell us about one recent successful trade you've made?
Yeah. I'll start because mine is much smaller than my mom's. I did a Facebook put yesterday with options, and it was a small win, but it was still a win. So profit is profit.
That's right. Green is green.
What were
Very
you
nice.
looking at? Were you keying off any pre-market levels? Was it just tell us your setup in it?
I was looking at what we call the 15 orbs, and I was looking at the overall market and where the levels were, pivot points. I also do Jeremy Newsom style of looking at the candles and volume. So I tried to do moving averages, but I didn't have moving averages up yesterday. I just saw the momentum of Facebook going down and just decided to take a real quick scalp of, my scalp was 7 minutes. So just a real quick down play.
Nice.
And Yvonne, tell us about a recent trade you've made that worked out.
I traded, I'm in Roku right now. It better get its little hiney moving up the chart here, but Amazon, $544 in about 7 minutes. And another Amazon play, same day. I must have played calls and puts. I have a little journal here that I keep all my running tabs in. And $314 in about 5 minutes. I also trade Delta. And that's a new one for me. CMG is always a good one, and that's about $100 each time I scalp it. So NVIDIA, Roku, Amazon, Delta, and CMG are my favorites right now.
All right. I would like to thank Yvonne Shore and Robin Steckel for joining us on Pre-Market Prep. Thank you both
That was fun.
so much. And
Yeah,
have
for sure.
I hope we didn't scar you too badly or anything. But I want
That was great. That was
I hope you had fun. And
You guys went up against the best though in Brentster, so it's
I
tough to
know.
beat
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat him either. I've been in the market 20 years. I couldn't beat him.
Well, yeah. All right, Yvonne and Robin, have a great rest of your day, both of you.
Thank
you.
you. You guys too. We love you.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Great
and
job.
On that note,
But before that note, I
Yeah.
want to comment on this Google
Yeah.
Fitbit because this was breaking news. Obviously, when we were doing hot potato, and
is
I'm
it
looking.
still halted? It's still halted.
It's still halted. It hasn't come out of the halt. 735 is cash, so it's done. Fitbit, but Google's trading up on this. It's very interesting. You know what? This makes sense. This actually makes sense to me. As a Google shareholder, I'm going to say here is what Google says. I'm reading from the press release in Benzinga Pro. Fitbit, this is from Google. Fitbit has been a true pioneer in the industry and has created terrific products, experiences, and a vibrant community of users, said Rick, I don't know how you say his name, Osterloh, who's the Senior Vice President of Devices and Services at Google. We're looking forward to working with the incredible talent at Fitbit and bringing together the best hardware, software, and AI to build wearables to help even more people around the world. They are going to go at Apple hard on the wearables.
You know what? I'm gonna take the other side of this. I think they did this because they're way behind Apple in this.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, yeah. They are. on the
of course
wearables.
they are.
And I don't
Of course,
think
that's why they did this. They're way
I-
behind Apple on the wearables, but this is going to propel them because think about how, Fitbit doesn't have any money. I mean, now you put money behind, the Fitbit watches and stuff. They've got some technology in there. They're going to go hard at Apple on this. This is a direct attack on Apple. So from the wearables perspective, obviously wearables is still a very small portion of Apple's revenue as well, but it's one of the growth areas. So Google's going right after the growth area too. And I mean, 2.1 billion is a drop in the bucket for Google. What's the market cap of Google? $1 billion or $1 trillion almost. Isn't it almost $1 trillion if it isn't $1 trillion?
It's close. And the market cap for Fitbit here is 984 million. So.
Well, it's 2.1 billion is the takeout price.
Right.
Is
I
everything
was just saying it was.
So it's a $2 billion
target to
gamble for Google. It's a drop in the bucket, and they're way behind. So now they can start attacking. Not only that, you're right. Spinner's right. Garmin. There's big money in the wearables, and Apple, and they're going to be going at Garmin. They're going to be going on Apple. This is big competition for, especially even think about Garmin, or and obviously Garmin has other things as well, but I mean Garmin's way more.
Does Garmin have other? Do they have other things? I don't know what they have.
This is a big attack. I'd be scared actually. Garmin is, because you've got another competitor here too. Google and Apple, I don't like to compete with them. Garmin's right up at the highs here. I wouldn't want to own Garmin on this. So we're trying to think of, where the trades are going to happen, where money might be nervous. If I was in Garmin right now, I'd probably hit the sell button just because you've got potentially Google now behind Fitbit. That could be an attack on Garmin too.
All right, we're going out here.
Competition's coming for Garmin and Apple.
All right, you heard it here first on Benzinga's pre-market prep.
Go Google.
S&P's trading at the highs of the pre-market session, 3049, up 13.25. Folks, yesterday's high on the Globex session was 3052, only 3 points away. There's a nice target. And when Apple came out with those good numbers on Wednesday, they ticked 3055 in the SPOOs. So there's a couple areas to look at. Also, I just want to alert to our listening audience that we got a special announcement coming next week. We'll announce it on Monday, something that will be starting on Tuesday. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys on Monday morning. Spencer, wrap things
All right. Well, it's November 1st, which means we are in the same month as the Benzinga Global FinTech Awards. I'll drop the link again in the chat to get 20% off, or you can go to the website fintechawards.com, enter the promo code PMPVIP. That'll get you 20% off ticket through to the FinTech Awards, the whole awards part, and plus Joel and Dennis doing their little education stuff on the side. So I'll do that as I leave us with a chart of Google here. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Thank you to our guests, Michelle Krebs and Robin Steckel and Yvonne Shore and Brent Slava. Please remember all the information from our show meant to be used as informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Good luck out there. We'll be back with you on Monday.